Hey friend, welcome back to Crafter Support. Today I'm going to show you how you can make these really cute bows from Amazon and use vinyl on them, so your iron-on vinyl, and make them and sell them. If you do like different craft fairs or anything like that, they sell really, really well. These are all the ones, like all the versions of the ones that we made. And you can just do like your local schools on them. These were the Halloween ones we made, and we just did the little cauldron and the hocus pocus. They were so cute. I'm going to have a link for the bows below that you can get them off Amazon. And then I just went into Design Space and used some of the designs in there and just wrote some words on the sides, like the little ghost with the little bow, and then just put boo on it. And you can sell these upwards of $7, $8, if not more, depending on where you live or if you're selling them online. So this one was really cute. I put little stars up at the top and on the right-hand side bottom, just to kind of give it a little bit extra. And I used I used glitter iron-on for that. And then I did the little eek and the spider. And this was my favorite, which was the candy corn bat. I thought that one was so cute. And it says candy corn cutie. And then my husband liked this one the most. He thought this was really cute. I did the spooky, and then it has the bats, and then the eyes of the bats I did with glitter iron-on, and it just made them like pop. It looks so cute. So these are really easy. You can use scrap vinyl to make them. You don't have to get big rolls. Use what you have. And this is a great way to make money with your Cricut. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to show you some of the things we're going to be using. I'm using my mini press. You can use an iron for this. Just be careful. Make sure that you're getting solid pressure and consistent heat across the whole design. You can use any of your machines, including your Cricut Joy, to do this. And we're going to use the blue mat. I like to use the blue mat of the Joy just because I think it's easier on the iron-on. So I'm going to use a brayer, also my roller you guys seen. And it seems like a lot, but it's just basic stuff that you need to use. And my burnt mat. So I burned this mat. Just disregard the burning. But we need to have a pressing mat. You can use a towel if you don't have one. Just fold a towel up and have a nice solid surface underneath. And then here are two of the bows we're going to be making, Christmas/winter bows. And I'm going to have like a whole line of Christmas bows that I sell. You're going to need a cutter, a trimmer. You can use scissors if you want. And then this is my bin full of scrap vinyl. Now I have a lot because I run a business and I sell t-shirts and all sorts of things. So I always have a lot of scraps. And I just keep them in these scrapbook page protectors, and then I put them in a clear bin, and then I can just flip through them really easy. I can see what I have. It just works for me. So this is all it is. It's one of those little page protectors, and it just works, like I said, really, really well. Yes, it's out. I always have it beside me, so that way there, if I need a small piece of black or white or red or green, I don't have to get my rolls off the wall and cut a bunch of pieces. I already have the smaller pieces available. So like these little tiny red eyes that I put on this bat, it came from a very tiny scrap, but it was all I needed. And I didn't have to cut a big piece off of my, like a long strip off of my roll, just to get the little tiny eyes that I needed. So it was really worth keeping the small scraps. So here's what I'm going to do next is just go in and make my design. I already know the colors that I want. I want to do pink on the like tealy blue bow, and I want to do white on the navy blue bow. And I'm just using designs that are off of Design Space. So it's a very simple, very cute. I'm just pulling a scrap of white. Now that is a bigger scrap, but I just pulled a piece out. And then, I'm sorry, my sleeve is wet in the video. I was doing dishes or something right before the video, and I'm going to use pink glitter for the tealy blue one. So these are just scraps, like I said, that I had. I'm going to trim them down, and I'm still going to keep the pieces that I trim off because I'll be able to use them for something else. And I'm just going to put that aside. And then I'm going to show, I don't think I show you how, like the designs as I'm picking them, but I do just go into Design Space. I know what I kind of want to do, so I just make a tree. I choose a tree off of Design Space, and then I put Merry Christmas, just typed it out, picked the font I liked, and then I did a snowflake, and then I believe it says Snow Princess for the tealy blue one. So I'm setting my mini press on number 2 because that's what I need it for this particular vinyl and press. So the next thing I'm going to do is just pull it up. And I have a love-hate relationship with electronics, so I begin by designing on my regular phone. Then I move to this device, this whatever this thing is. And then I have to move to my iPhone because I'm recording with my phone that I normally design on. So this just gives you a little bit of an idea of all the different ways you can use Design Space. You don't have to have a computer. As a matter of fact, my laptop just kind of like, it's a goner, so I need to replace that. So right now I'm just doing everything through mobile devices. So I'm just going to make some room here. We're going to go ahead and trim down, like I said, the vinyl. And I'll show you how I actually measure to make sure I'm getting the right size. Is I just take my ruler and I go across and I see that I have about 3 inches. So in order to make the design fit nicely, I'm only going to make it like 2.5 to 2 3/4 wide. And then I look at the height that I have and I'm going to do the same with that. I'm going to do about 2.5 with the height. And then I'm going to trim down my vinyl. So if you don't have a trimmer, there's a lot of trimmers out there. I prefer to use a trimmer that goes with the brand that I'm using. I just think that works better. You've probably heard me say that if you've watched my videos, but that's just genuinely what I like to do. Here I'm going in and I realize that my 2 black pieces are not the same color. So I'm going to go in here and change the color. And that's just by highlighting them, click edit, and then go to the left-hand side and click the color you want. And my dog's going to start howling because my husband just went upstairs. And she gets sad when she's alone. All right, so now that that's ready to go, I'm going to pick which mat I'm using. And I'm going to change... Real life, people, real life. I'm going to pick the mat I'm using, and I realized that I was on the wrong device. I need to go in and change it to my Cricut Joy instead of my Maker 3. And... okay, sorry about that. She started to really howl. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm highlighting it, making sure now that it is the right color after I changed it to the correct machine. Now I'm going to pick my 4.5 by 12 mat, and I realized because of the size of pink vinyl I have, I can't do the way that it's set up on the actual mat. So I'm going to remember to mirror my images because we have letters. We need those mirrored. And I'm just going to move my pink design down. So in order to do that, all you have to do is click on the design. Once you get into, when you click next, it'll move on and you'll see that. But you're going to move on. Yes, here's where I show it. So you see that they're really close together, but the pieces I have are not big enough to cut it all in that section. So what I have to do is move it. So by clicking next, this will work fine. I have enough piece of white that will fit. So what I need to do is swipe over and go to the pink. And this is where I'm going to click on the bottom design and I'm going to pull it all the way to the bottom. And then when I lay it on my mat, I'm going to put a piece of pink at the top and a piece of pink at the bottom. And I'm sure that it's going to be able to use those scraps to cut and have enough vinyl to cut it out on those individual pieces of scrap. I hope that made sense. So now I think I actually trim the vinyl. So, and when I say vinyl, I mean iron-on, I'm sorry. This I'm just going to cut at 4.5. If you have a trimmer, it's a little bit easier, but if not, you don't need to worry about it. You can use a pair of scissors, put a little tick mark at the top whenever, to know what size 4.5 is, and then cut the length that you want. So, but this trimmer does have an arm. It's a Cricut trimmer. It cuts like butter vinyl. It cuts beautifully. It cuts Cricut paper beautifully. I don't have good luck cutting like copy paper or anything like that with this trimmer. It, for whatever reason, it doesn't, in my opinion, my personal opinion, it doesn't cut like thinner paper well at all. To me, it's more of a heavy duty vinyl slash thicker paper cutter, if that makes sense. So this piece is going to work. I don't have to trim it down at all. And I'm definitely going to keep those pieces, and I'm going to put them back in my scrap bin because I know for sure I'll be able to use them come Christmas time, because I'm going to be making some things that need little tiny circles and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to keep those. So now we're just getting the machine ready, and we know with Cricut, anytime your machine is blinking, it wants you to do something. So this is where I'm going to get out my blue mat. You can use your green mat as well. I prefer the blue mat for most things on my Joy, but unless I'm using like, well, I've used it for faux leather, but I prefer it just for vinyl and paper. And remember, we're going to do shiny side down. We want the shiny side of the vinyl down when you cut it, because you mirrored the image, and that's what you just have to do with iron on vinyl. So now I just have it coming out of my iPhone, and it's just, I sped up the video so you guys didn't have to watch it cut like the full length of time, and it's gonna look so cute. I'm really excited about these bows. So as soon as it's done, you just click unload, and here's where I'm going to be putting my pink on. So you see where I have it at top and bottom, and it shows that I have my mirror on, and that's where I'm going to load my vinyl to. So as long as I have the right pieces for the right size, I can place my vinyl on the mat, and it's ready to go. And I'm just going to use my brayer to make sure it's down. The most important thing when you're cutting vinyl is that you do have a very good sticky mat. I can't, like, truly, that makes a huge difference. Making sure your blade's clean. You don't necessarily have to have a brand new blade to get really good cuts. You just have to have a sticky mat, and your blade just needs to be cleaned. So it's blinking again. I'm going to feed it in, and I'm going to set it for glitter iron-on this time instead of just regular iron-on. And the machine will know and do all of the cutting, the proper pressure and all that. I love the joy about that. I don't have to set anything. It just does what it needs to do. And the Maker 3 is the same way. And then I'm just going to peel my pieces off. I'm going to put the plastic cover back on. I find it easiest to turn it to the left, line up the left-hand side corner, and then just drop it down, and it's back on. So now I'm just going to weed it. If you're new to Cricut, weeding is just taking away all the stuff that you don't want on. And here I'm just going to trim out the pieces, and I'm going to save those because, like I said, I'm going to be able to use them. And I'm just weeding through the letters of Snow Princess. And of course, it cut really, really nice. Sometimes it's a little harder to weed glitter vinyl, but if you just like kind of bend it and roll it, you can kind of makes it a little bit easier to see the cuts. And here again, I'm just going to cut this part off, save it, put it in my scrap bins, and peel out my snowflake. Now inside my snowflake are 6 little triangles, and I have to really look at them and see how I bent it and rolled it. It was so that way there I could see where they were at a little bit easier. And I think I do that again just to make sure. Yeah. And then I just pulled them all, and now that one's ready to go. And then the white, I just trimmed that off as well. I think sometimes it's hard to see your white too. There are tips and tricks on that I can give you guys. If you have a light box, that makes it a little bit easier. Sometimes just angling it the proper way under a light, like if you just tilt it a certain way, you're able to see it. If it's a different color other than white, you can use like baby powder, just kind of sprinkle a little bit on with a paintbrush and just kind of smooth it around, and it will show you like where the lines are. So there's just different things you can do to make weeding a little bit easier for you. Okay, so I'm going to take out the center part of the E and I can't tell what else I did, but I'm going to cut this apart because they're going to be one on each side. Now I have my mat and my little heat press is ready. That's my heat press mini. And this is the bow I'm going to do first, which is the navy bow. And I think at this point I'm looking for my, that thing right there. And that you can use, I can never think of what that stuff's called. It's a, what is it called? You guys know what it is. Okay, so you could either use that thing, that brown stuff, Teflon sheet. Thank you. Myself, I remembered. So it's either a Teflon sheet or you can use like the baker's paper, and you can use that as well. So you just want to have it covered to protect the surface of the fabric, and you're just going to go over it like 30 seconds. Now I did speed this up, but look how pretty that is on the navy blue. And then we're just going to put the Merry Christmas. And right here, that inner part of that E was there. And you want to make sure that there's no leftover vinyl from the pieces that you weeded out stuck onto that, because that can happen. Believe me, I've ruined many a shirts just because I wasn't being thorough and checking for that. So definitely learn from my mistakes. Make sure that there's no loose pieces on the transfer paper or the transfer that you're doing. So that one turned out so cute. I really like it. I may add some stars to the top of the bow, or if sometimes when people order, they asked if I can put their names on it. You can do that as well. So here I'm just going to do the snowflake on the teal bow, and it's the same process, though this is a glitter iron-on, so I do give it a little bit more pressure and I heat it just for a little bit longer. And Cricut has a heat transfer guide, so you can look that up as well. And then you just peel it off, and it just looks so cute. And then I put Snow Princess on the side and the Teflon sheet. And I just press and press, and it turns out so cute. I think this pink and teal together is just very princessy, very, very sweet. And so it is all finished. Look how cute. I could put, like I said, some snowflakes maybe, where like how I have the stars, I could do snowflakes up at the top and on the side. But yeah, so didn't they turn out sweet? Like I said, these are things you can sell, things you can make for gifts, stocking stuffers for little kids, whoever in your life needs a hair bow, you know? So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you're all having a great day, and I hope fall is fun for you, and I will talk to you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.